All right, everybody, buckle up
All
because
right.
this deep dive is going to be a wild one. We're talking about a brand new AI called DeepSeek, and it's making some seriously insane claims, like stuff I'd never even...
Yeah, DeepSeek's been making a lot of noise lately. Hard to miss it, really.
It's everywhere I look, and it's promising the moon, like
Yeah.
building entire websites in seconds.
From what I've seen, they're really pushing this idea of being a one-stop shop for pretty much anything you could want to do with AI. Over 150 different tools.
8K videos,
Yeah.
plagiarism, fixing code, debugging. They even claim their chatbots can...
Corral human interaction.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Right.
how is that even possible?
It's certainly ambitious. And whether they can fully deliver on all those promises remains to be seen.
Hmm.
But the sheer scope of their goals is what's got everyone buzzing.
And the fact that it's open source.
Right. That's huge. Most of the big AI players out there keep their code locked down tight, but DeepSeek's putting it all out in the open.
Which means anyone can tinker with it, modify it, build on top of it.
It's a pretty radical departure from the way things have been done in the AI world, and it has the potential to really shake things up.
Okay, so let's break down some of these claims, because I gotta be honest, building a website in 9 seconds sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie.
It does sound a bit far-fetched, I'll give you that.
Yep.
But it's important to remember that when they talk about building a website that quickly, they're likely referring to very basic sites, landing pages, brochure-style sites, things like that.
So not like a full-blown e-commerce platform.
Probably not. That would be a pretty tall order, even for an AI as advanced as DeepSeek claims to be.
Gotcha. So more about simplifying the process for simple sites.
Exactly, which could still be a game changer for small businesses or people who don't know how to code.
Okay, what about the 8K video thing? Is that even remotely possible?
I wouldn't rule it out. The technology for generating realistic video has come a long way in recent years.
But isn't creating a good video about more than just the visuals?
Absolutely. You need a compelling story, seamless transitions, and that's where human creativity comes in.
Right. So DeepSeek could maybe handle the technical stuff,
But it's not going to replace human filmmakers anytime soon.
but still, imagine the possibilities for content creators. To have a tool that could pump out high-quality footage that quickly.
It could definitely change the game. And speaking of changing the game, DeepSeek is really going after the business world too, especially with these AI chatbots they've developed.
Oh yeah, the whole DFY agency thing, where you can set up a business selling chatbot services to other companies.
It's a very appealing pitch, especially for people who dream of being their own boss.
But can a chatbot really replace a human salesperson? Like genuinely build relationships and close deals?
That's the big question. AI is great at processing information and following scripts, but when it comes to things like empathy and intuition, humans still have the edge.
So it's more likely that these chatbots would work alongside human sales teams, rather than replace them entirely.
Exactly. They could handle the routine tasks, freeing up human salespeople to focus on the more complex stuff.
Which makes sense. But it also brings up some ethical questions, like if businesses start relying more and more on AI.
What happens to the people whose jobs are being automated?
Exactly. That's something we can't ignore.
Agreed. Okay, so we've talked about the capabilities and some of the potential implications. Now let's dive a little deeper into this open source thing. What sets DeepSeek apart from the closed models we're used to?
Yeah, because with something like ChatGPT, you're basically at the mercy of the company that created it. They control the code. They control the data.
Exactly. It's a black box. You don't really know what's going on under the hood.
But with DeepSeek, it's all out in the open.
Anyone can see the code. Anyone can contribute to it.
Which is awesome in terms of transparency and collaboration, but also a little scary, right? Like, what if someone uses that code for something malicious?
That's definitely a valid concern, one of the risks that comes with an open source approach.
Because it's like a double-edged sword.
Exactly. It has the potential for incredible good, but also for potential harm.
And it all comes down to how the DeepSeek community handles that responsibility.
Exactly. They need to establish clear ethical guidelines and be vigilant about addressing any vulnerabilities.
It's a lot to manage.
Yeah.
All right, before we move on, I got to ask about these financial claims that are swirling around DeepSeek, like how it's shaking up Wall Street and causing hedge funds to panic. Is there any truth to that?
Well, it's certainly possible that DeepSeek has caught the attention of the financial world. AI has the potential to disrupt just about every industry, and finance is no exception.
So it's not necessarily about panic, but about recognizing the potential for change.
Exactly. If DeepSeek can really deliver on its promises of speed and cost effectiveness, it could force a lot of traditional financial institutions to adapt. or risk being left behind.
It's a fascinating dynamic.
Hmm.
This whole thing with DeepSeek. All right, let's shift gears for a minute and talk about this James character.
This whole story about James, you know, the guy who supposedly built a six-figure business selling DeepSeek chatbots in like a week? It's a classic marketing move. Play on that dream of getting rich quick.
Oh, totally. It's like the ultimate side hustle fantasy. But come on, is that even realistic?
Well, let's break it down. First of all, building a successful business takes time. Even with AI doing some of the heavy lifting. You're not going to go from zero to hero in a few days.
Right. You got to build a customer base, figure out your pricing, refine your offerings.
Exactly. It's a process. And then there's this client generator thing that DeepSeek keeps talking about. It's supposed to find you businesses that are ready to pay for chatbot services.
Which sounds amazing. But how do you know those leads are any good?
Yeah. Are these businesses that actually understand what chatbots are and how they can be used? Or are they just getting spammed with sales pitches?
And ethically speaking, is it right to target businesses that might not fully grasp the implications of using AI?
Those are all important questions to consider.
Yeah.
So yeah, while the James story is a nice little fairy tale,
Yep.
it's probably not the norm.
Right. It's more like the best case scenario.
Yeah.
Not necessarily what the average person can expect.
Exactly. And that brings us to another aspect of DeepSeek that I think deserves a closer look. Their pay once, use forever pricing model.
I gotta admit, that's super appealing. Like, who doesn't love a one-time fee?
I know, right? But it also makes you wonder, how sustainable is that in the long run?
Yeah. Developing and maintaining AI tools is not cheap. You need a team of engineers, data scientists, all that.
Exactly. And without a recurring revenue stream, how can DeepSeek keep up with the competition and continue to innovate?
So maybe this pricing model is just too good to be true.
It's possible. It's definitely something to think about.
Right. Because you might end up with a product that becomes obsolete or unsupported down the line.
Exactly. You always got to weigh the potential risks and rewards.
Okay, so we've covered DeepSeek's capabilities, the open source thing, the business model. Now the big question, is this the future of AI or just another hype cycle?
It's hard to say for sure at this point. DeepSeek definitely has some impressive tech. And the open source approach is a game changer. But there are also some red flags.
Like the aggressive marketing and the lack of transparency around certain things.
Right. And the long-term viability of their business model is still up in the air.
So we're not writing them off. But we're also not ready to declare them the AI messiah.
Exactly. It's a powerful tool with a lot of potential. But you got to approach it with a healthy dose of skepticism.
Do your research experiment with the tool and see if it's right for you.
And remember, AI is constantly evolving. What's cutting edge today could be outdated tomorrow.
True. So stay informed, stay curious, and don't believe everything you hear.
Words to live by. All right, let's talk about something that really caught my attention. The story of James. You know, the guy who made a fortune selling those DeepSeek chatbots.
So we've really gone deep on DeepSeek, haven't we?
Yeah, we've seen the flashy demos, heard the bold promises, and dug into the nuts and bolts of the tech.
And now for the big question, is DeepSeek the real deal? Or are we all getting a little carried away?
That's what we're here to figure out, right?
Exactly. I mean, remember at the beginning, when I was listing off all the crazy stuff, DeepSeek claims to do websites in 9 seconds, 8K
Yeah.
video plagiarism, fixing chatbots that can practically think for themselves. It was almost hard to believe.
Yeah, some of those claims definitely push the limits of what we thought was possible.
And to be fair, some of it is pretty mind-blowing. Like the speed at which DeepSeek can whip up a basic website.
That's definitely impressive, but as we discussed, a website in 9 seconds doesn't necessarily mean it's a website that's ready to handle a complex online business.
Right. And the AI-generated video, while technically impressive, it's still the human touch, the storytelling, the emotion that really makes a video stand out.
Yeah, exactly. DeepSeek is a tool, and a powerful one, but it's not a magic wand. It can amplify what humans can do, speed up certain processes, open up new creative avenues, but it's not going to replace human ingenuity or critical thinking.
Or the need for ethics.
Right.
Absolutely. So what does all this mean for our listeners? What should they take away from this deep dive?
Yeah, what's the bottom line here?
I think the key takeaway is this. Approach new technology with a sense of both excitement and caution. Don't be afraid to experiment, to see what's possible, but don't just buy into the hype blindly. Do your research, ask questions, and think critically about both the potential benefits and the potential downsides.
Exactly. Consider how this technology could impact your work, your industry, society as a whole.
Because at the end of the day, the most powerful tool we have is our own judgment.
That's a great point. We can't just passively consume technology. We need to engage with it thoughtfully
Yeah.
and critically.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I'm curious, what are your final thoughts on DeepSeek?
I think DeepSeek represents a significant moment in the evolution of AI. The combination of powerful capabilities and open source accessibility is something we haven't really seen before. It has the potential to democratize AI in a way that could be truly transformative.
But it also comes with a whole set of challenges and questions.
Absolutely. We need to be very mindful of the potential for misuse, the ethical implications, the long-term sustainability of this kind of technology.
So DeepSeek isn't a simple yes or no answer. It's a complex and ever-changing landscape, and it's up to each of us to navigate it responsibly.
Well said. It's an exciting time to be following the development of AI, and I'm really eager to see how DeepSeek continues to evolve and shape the future.
Me too. And I can't wait to share more deep dives into the world of emerging technologies with all of you.
Hmm.
Thanks for joining us. And be sure to check out our other videos for more insights and discussions. Until next time, stay curious.